Tonight, on an all-new evening magazine. A 737 sinking off the coast of Vancouver Island, and people are cheering.
It's not a ship, it's not a tug, it's an airplane. It's totally unique, it's totally different.
Find out how this old plane is creating new life.
What is one of your earliest memories?
Stories used to be passed down from generation to generation.
It's our love story.
Now, there's a modern way to preserve old family history. Ice dancing is a misunderstood sport in Seattle.
They think it's a girl sport because they think I wear tutus and twirl around.
How future champions train, despite all the teasing. In high definition, it's an all-new evening magazine for Friday, February 17th. Now, here's your host, John Curley.
Evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. You're on board a 737, and the flight attendant says, in the unlikely event of a water landing, your seat cushion can be used as a flotation device. Maybe for a second or two you think about it. What would it be like landing in the water? Well, it happened not too long ago, and the people that witnessed the plane going into the water cheered. Jim Dever has the story.
When you think of a Boeing 737, this is how most people see it, flying gracefully, several thousand feet above the earth. But despite the billions of miles this type of plane has flown, there's one place it has never landed. A destination that will take one plane from the big blue sky to the deep blue sea.
We didn't think we'd see the opportunity twice, so we grabbed it.
Howard Robbins is the president of the Artificial Reef Society of British Columbia. His organization is responsible for sinking several ships in and around BC, creating artificial reefs where wildlife can thrive and divers can explore. It's after one of those sinkings that Howard's group receives a call for a reef, unlike any they've made before.
We got a phone call from Air Canada a few years back saying that they have an airframe.
The plane is a retired 737 built at Boeing's Renton plant in 1975. It has flown over 73,000 hours, the equivalent of 8 years in the air. After considering their options, the Reef Society decided to take on the job.
This is different enough, it's unique enough, it's a new challenge.
But securing the plane was easier than finding a place to sink it. After searching for a location for several years, the plane's future as an artificial reef looks dim.
Because it was literally on its way to the scrapyard.
Peter Luckham, a diver and resident of the Vancouver Island town of Chemainus, wants to do more than just find the plane a home.
And we just got it into our heads that, well, no, why don't we try and get it here? The dive community has talked about having an artificial reef here. Let's see if we can do it here.
After convincing the Artificial Reef Society he's serious and getting local governments and businesses to front the finances, the plane is moved to its new home. On an island just off Chemainus, the 737 is being made ready for its final journey.
It's not a ship, it's not a tug, it's an airplane. It's totally unique, it's totally different.
But how do you park a plane on the bottom of the sea with no landing gear?
I talked to some of the directors and said, look, why don't we all go back to when we were kids building model airplanes? One of the common things about that was that all these model airplanes had stands. They had a pedestal of some nature to support the model. I said, that's what we're going to do with this 737.
The 15-foot tall support will not only keep the plane from smothering the seabed, it will also give divers a chance to swim all around the plane's nearly 100-foot frame.
Because we only have one time to do this, so we got to make sure we do it right.
On the morning of the big event, the 737 is lifted off the island and brought by barge to the site of the sinking.
At this point, we're just double-checking all systems, and we're ready to roll.
The barge is put in position before hundreds of spectators. At 12 noon, the 35-ton plane lifts off for the final time.
The plane will be tethered with ropes to make sure nothing swings.
With a very delicate hand, the 737 begins its final descent. As the plane begins to slip out of sight, divers in the water and cameras down below help guide the plane to its final destination. 23 minutes later, the plane goes under.
It went incredibly well. pretty much according to plan.
It was like a lunar landing to us. As soon as we saw the bottom, we knew we were right on the mark. Couldn't have asked for a better sink.
90 feet down, an icon of the sky rides a new current beneath the sea. An old plane giving new life to communities above and below the water for years to come.
Number 7 project successfully completed, and we're thrilled. Another satisfied customer.
I want to thank friends at Island Dive for their help with that story. And if you want to find out more about the artificial reef, you can always go to king5.com and look for Evening Magazine. Someday we will all be gone.
In the waters off Nanaimo, British Columbia, a Canadian Navy ship is about to sink as thousands look on.
There'll be a lot of boats out there, a lot of them out there already.
There should be some neat fireballs and explosions, and it'll be quite loud. So I think everybody will enjoy it.
A once proud naval vessel's minutes from sinking, and they're celebrating?
We're all very excited.
That's because the Cape Breton's about to be sunk on purpose, so it can embark on an important new mission underwater.
We're just about to create the world's largest artificial reef.
The Cape Breton will soon rest near sister ship the Saskatchewan, which was also sunk on purpose. Sunken ships not only provide a home for marine life, they bring in scuba divers, who bring in money to the local economy.
Once it goes down, it'll be the sister ship to the Saskatchewan, and we expect our dive industry to almost double within 2 years.
Everyone from those setting the charges,
we only get one shot at this,
to those who've spent years setting things up,
we're waiting on the ferry,
are hoping for a successful sinking.
There are enough butterflies in my stomach right now that I could just lift off the deck.
This is the big moment. This is what it's all come down to.
Explosives experts have placed 15 powerful charges on board to sink her, and some pyrotechnic fireballs just for show.
Now here's what's going to happen. When the 15 charges on the boat go off, they're going to create an intense heat, 10,000 degrees. So powerful it vaporizes the steel around it, and it shouldn't take long for the Cape Breton to sink. Only 5 to 7 minutes.
I just want this boat to go down. I just want it to all happen.
A Canadian Forces patrol plane gives the Cape Breton a final flyover salute. The all clear is sounded, and it's blow time.
Go now. One more.
There's concern when the ship starts to lean to the right. They want her to land with her hull flat on the bottom. The Cape Breton levels off just before submerging.
Here she goes.
It takes her only 3.5 minutes to sink.
And it is gone. It's great to come back again. Get this going. Well done.
Thank you.
Good. Excellent. Excellent. I couldn't feel better.
Held my breath for a couple of seconds as she tilted to starboard and then righted herself. She knew her mission. She carried it out. We're absolutely thrilled.
I feel rushed and I feel relieved and I feel like this is a new beginning for Nanaimo. It deserves it. It's worked very hard. The community's come forward in droves to help with this project. They spec the last 200 to 250 years down there. Generations of divers will be able to go down and see her now. It's the beginning of a new life for her.